Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today, and we're going to be talking about the Houston Texans once again. I said this it was yesterday. I made a video, another draft video about potentially the Texans drafting Bijan Robinson. And, in that video I said, and I'm going to say the same thing here, it's tough to watch your team lose and not want to make videos about the future. So when, the Texans take a tough loss like they did on Sunday to the Cowboys, in a game where they played so well, I'm on yesterday and Monday night and Tuesday, all I could think about was about what the Texans are going to do in the offseason. I really haven't felt that all season, but I'm so ready to be honest with you guys. I'm so ready for this season to be over. It's been such a painful season as a fan to watch this team play. So I'm so ready for this season to be over, and we still have 4 games left. The Chiefs, the Titans, the Jaguars, and the Colts. So we still have 4 games left. That's about a month to go. And so this is how I deal with the Texans still having a month to go in the season, is by talking about what the Texans should do in the offseason. I don't want to make a whole video, but here's what the Texans need. They have Nico Collins, they have Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks is most likely going to get traded in the offseason, but they need a good wide receiver. And to be honest, not yet. The two things here. The free agency wide receiver class is not that great this year in free agency. And not only that, but even if it was, no big name would really want to come here unless we paid him really good. Like last year, there was a couple decent wide receivers to come off the board. Christian Kirk was signed to the Jaguars. There's a couple other guys. So yeah, but I don't care. I looked at the list of free agency wide receivers the other day. There's some decent ones there. Nobody that would bring a big effect for the Texans. Looking at the Texans in their draft, they got their first round pick, which should be the first overall pick, which they're projected to pick Bryce Young. But Bryce Young, he's going to be coming to Houston. This is like when Deshaun Watson came here. So we got to get Bryce Young a wide receiver. And thank God the Houston Texans have another first-round pick that they got from the Deshaun Watson trade from the Browns. And with that pick, right now, if the season ended today, it would be the 12th pick. It could be better than the 12th pick. It could even be higher. It depends how the Browns finish their season. They don't have a hard schedule to finish the year, and it's not like they have an easy schedule. It's not like they have a hard schedule. They got the Steelers, the Ravens, the Saints, and then who else? The Bengals, I think. I think the Bengals. I think that's the Ravens schedule. So they got those 4 games. The Bengals are a hard team to play. With the Steelers' defense, they can always be hard. And, the Ravens, and I don't know about the Saints. I think that the Browns most likely the last 4 might win 1 or 2. Texans should get around the 11th to 13th pick with how the Browns finish the season. And with that, so who should the Texans draft? And here's who we're going to be talking about is Quentin Johnson, TCU wide receiver, was one of the best, if not the best, wide receivers in college football this season. And, if there's any guy that I would want the Texans to draft in this free agency wide receiver class, it is Quentin Johnson. I think he is one of the most talented wide receivers in this class. He is the most talented wide receiver in this class. I don't know if he was one of the best wide receivers in college football this year. I just don't know if I want to call him the best. So moving on to that, why the Texans should pick him up. Obviously, if you're going to draft Bryce Young, you need a wide receiver. I know you have Nico Collins. You might have John Mechie return from leukemia. Yes, you have Brandon Cooks. He's going to be traded this offseason. So you need an elite number one. And, we've over the last couple years, over the last 2 seasons, we've done something which we have not. Over the last 2 drafts, we have not been aggressive in the drafts. Now, I'll give the Texans an excuse in 2020. They did not have a first-round pick because of they screwed up and with trading away their first-round pick. So they did not have a first-round pick, and in that case, the Texans did not have a first-round pick in 2020, and their first pick was Davis Mills and Nico Collins. So, last year, to be honest with you guys, the Texans, they did a great job with their first round pick last year. I liked, should they probably picked Sauce Gardner? Probably, yeah. But Derek Stingley's been great too. It's not like Derek Stingley's had a bad year. Just Sauce Gardner has looked like one of the best corners in football. It's just that's why. And Derek Stingley's had a great year. He's allowed 0 touchdowns. Either Sauce Gardner. He's allowed 0 touchdowns as well, but doesn't have Derek. I mean, Derek has 1 interception. I think Sauce Gardner has way more than 1, maybe like 2 or 3, whatever it is, maybe more. But then the Texans kind of screwed up with their 15th or 18th pick, whatever I think it was the 15th pick. They drafted Kenyon Green, which I know he's a rookie and I know he's young, but he's been awful in his first year. He's been called for a lot of penalties, and it's been awful to watch how many penalties this man has been called with. But what I will say, guys, is that I don't blame the Texans for making that pick. I think the Texans, they realized they needed an O-lineman. They realized that their O-line was awfully bad the year before. It's still been awful this year, and they picked the best guy that there was available at O-line. So I don't blame them. Yeah, should they picked a wide receiver? At the time, the best wide receiver was Treylon Burks, and Treylon Burks has been all right this year. But I think that at that time, O-line was a bigger need for the Texans than a wide receiver. And now I think wide receiver is a huge need for the Texans. And that's why the Houston Texans should draft Quentin Johnson. I'll say it again. He looked like one of the best wide receivers in college football this year. He had 53 receptions, 5 receiving touchdowns, 900 receiving yards. And in the most recent mock draft, he is projected to go 12 to the Houston Texans. And you guys let me know what you guys think about the Houston Texans drafting Quentin Johnson, because I think this would be the perfect move for the Houston Texans. And you guys let me know what you guys think. Peace out. Go Texans.